everybody, and welcome back to yet another review. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Doug Crankel color changer from the 2023 Color Changers line. A lot of people have been really annoyed lately at color changers being made of characters that don't have die casts yet from Cars on the Road. But Doug Crankel is actually the inverse. He already had his die cast, and then the color changer came out just a few weeks after, or maybe around a month or so after. So, yeah, that's cool and all. If you want the diecast, you can get the diecast. If you want the color changer, you can get the color changer. You know, it doesn't really force anyone to buy the color changer if they want some form of merchandise of the character. The character's diecast, the definitive superior version, is already out. And while most color changers are a pretty exact match to their diecast, just in plastic instead of metal, and with, you know, a little less detail, Doug Crankel really is a downgrade here. For starters, his brain is really shrunken down compared to the big zombie brain on the diecast. Looking at the Doug Crankel diecast, if you've seen him in the package, then you'd know that they actually made his blister larger just to fit him and keep the brain the correct size. They didn't do that here. Instead, they shrunk down the brain. Additionally, there's another problem with this car, the fact that it's still gray. Now, that honestly is just kind of beyond our control. It turns out that, you know, as we all know, the Doug Crankel diecast was gray, whereas in the show, the zombie cars are green. This annoyed a lot of people, but it turned out that Disney originally was planning on having them be gray, and then changed it very late in the game, and by the time the diecast for Doug Crankel had been designed, it was too late. They had already designed the diecast as gray, and thus they couldn't make it the correct color in time, since again, Disney changed that pretty late in the game. So, I excuse the fact that the Doug Crankel color changer is not green, he's gray. Also, something I really like is they changed his artwork here to make him be gray, to match the car. It's honestly pretty funny, because typically on color changer card backs, they show the two colors that the car changes to, and here, since Doug is gray, even though he's not supposed to be gray, I like that they edited the artwork to make him gray, to match the color changer, even though, again, realistically, he should be green. The third thing that you should know about this car is that Doug himself doesn't change color, only the brain does. I've seen kind of mixed reactions to this. I've seen some people who like it as sort of like an interesting, sort of different thing the color changers are trying. I really don't know how I feel about it. It's fine. I definitely would have preferred if they made the whole car change colors, but whatever. I think it's fine. Again, it's something unique and different, and I guess sort of makes him stand out from other color changers, because just the brain changes color. I don't think it's an upside or a downside. Again, I think it kind of goes either way. I really think it would have been cool if the brain and the diecast all changed color and you could have them all be one solid color just like in the show, but again, originally they weren't planned to be the same color, so just the brain changing color, I get. It's fine. I don't mark it as lazy or anything. It's just the choice they decided to make. What I do like, though, is if the brain's changing color, at least they let it change color to pink, so you could have it be an actual brain color, which I think is pretty fun. You can see cold water is going to change that brain to green. Warm water is going to change it to pink. Unfortunately, it seems like this green is a lot darker than the green that's advertised, while the green that's advertised is much closer to the green we see on the diecast and the green we see in the show. But that's alright, you know, we get sort of false advertising with color changers, prototype to final version. We get that all the time. Taking Doug out of the package here, I'm mixed on only the brain changing color, but I'm also very mixed on his face. As, he doesn't really have a zombie face, he's just got a regular face. He's got a very normal face. Typically, this would probably bother me, but I don't really mind, because this character is an actor playing a character in a movie. That's sort of the whole goal, right? That's why he's named Doug Crankel and he doesn't have some sort of zombie alien name. That whole episode is about them filming a movie about zombie aliens, so I don't have an issue with the fact that he has a normal face. This is him when he's acting and playing the zombie. This is him when he's off set. I will say, though, man, seeing this out of the package, it just looks even worse. The brain is so small and it's barely even the accurate shape. It You know, the brain on the diecast is molded so well and just really immaculately, and they really went all out with it. But this just looks kind of cheap in comparison, and the fact that the car itself doesn't change color means you're always stuck with this cheap, plasticky looking gray color. It's nice that he has a regular face here, which makes it different from Doug Crankel. Again, this could be him playing the zombie, and then this is him when he isn't. But it's not like you could swap these out, right? They look way too different. These colors don't match, the brains don't match, etc. And yeah, typically I don't have a problem with that, but when the color of the car doesn't change and it's always going to be this color, then I think I'm allowed to complain a little if I don't really like that color, right? Moving on to the side, you can see he's also quite shrunken down, it feels. Like, not only is the brain smaller, yeah, the car itself is smaller. This really is just, in my opinion, an inferior Doug Crankel in every way, and really not a necessary color changer. Yeah, it's interesting that they did something different with the brain and only changing the color of the brain, but like, if you're only going to change one part of the color changer, why make this color changer at all when you could have made any other different character, right? I'm sorry that I'm being so negative. Ooh, he has a nice silver back bumper. That's kind of cool. Sorry that I'm being so negative, but again, this release is so mediocre to me. There's so much to say because it's just so middle of the road to me. I'm not angry that it exists, but I don't feel passionately about it. I don't think it's that good, but whatever. Let's bring it to the water and change the color of the brain. Not the car, just the brain. Alright, let's bring Doug to the water here. Dip him in the cold water first. Yeah, stays that green color. I actually didn't notice the purple veins are painted in a little, which is pretty nice. Not as much as on the diecast. They're also not on the back, but they're actually not on the back of the regular diecast either. Now, if we dump him in the warm water, we're just gonna plummet to the bottom. There you go. Yeah, so he changes to sort of it still looks a little green, but yeah, it's a sort of pinkish color. Honestly, looks really gross because it looks almost kind of fleshy. But yeah, let's dip him back in there. Really, like I said, I'm kind of split on this one. Like I said earlier, it's a very inferior piece of Doug Crankel merchandise, but then again, if you're going out and buying a color changer, you're not buying it because you want the definitive version of the character. You're buying it because you want the color changing gimmick. It's just that most color changers are typically a lot more accurate to the original diecast than this is. Here, they had to shrink the brain down. They chose to give him this much more subdued face. The model's a bit off, and again, the fact that the body doesn't change color really highlights the fact that oftentimes color changers aren't the same color as the diecast because it's plastic, not metal. So yeah, I'm kind of split on this one. It works fine. It has the color changing gimmick still. And again, if you want a better looking Doug Crankel, go out there and buy this Doug Crankel. That's why I kind of torn on this. That's why I really don't have a strong opinion about it. There's a better Doug Crankel out there. This acts as an option if you want one with a color changing brain because, hey, why not? Anyway, guys, thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye now.